I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where we're working together through the ABRSM Theory Grades. There are loads of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets and you can download those in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also access information about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time on exam day when you're working through your exam paper. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and do subscribe to my channel please to keep updated. There's lots more in the pipeline. And so today we're going to make a start on the second paper of the Grade 5 2015 past papers. So we'll be looking at paper B. If you turn with me to page 9, that's where we'll be starting. And so although this is an old paper, and since then the paper has been revised from 2018 onwards, the paper has a new sort of format to it. However, these old papers still provide excellent resource for revision, and so I suggest that you just work through this paper as a fab revision exercise. I always suggest, I know I'm repeating myself here, I always suggest that you have a go at this first on your own. It doesn't matter if you go wrong. Always write in pencil. I use a mechanical pencil so it stays nice and sharp so your answers are neat and tidy. It doesn't matter if you go wrong, you can just rub it out. Here's trusty eraser, and then you'll learn by your mistakes. You'll learn much more thoroughly that way. So I'm hoping you've had a go of this. And so we'll make a start on this question. So question 1 is going to keep referring back to this extract here. And so the first question is, we need to describe the time signature, and we need to decide if it's simple or compound, or if it's duple, triple or quadruple. So the first job is to find out if it's simple or compound. And just glancing at the time signature will give you the clue. And also you can see that we're grouped in threes, so that tells us, both of those tell us we're in compound time. So we've got 3 quaver beats, 3/8 notes there, which gives us our dotted crotchet, dotted quarter note beat. We've got one there, one there, and one there. It's a massively long bar. So we've got 4 groups of 3. So we know straight away we're in compound time. Because of that. Simple time is where we group into 2s, and then we can see that we've got 4 groups of 3. There are 4 beats in a bar, so although this says 12/8, we haven't got 12 beats per bar as such. We count the groups, not each individual quaver beat, 8th note beat. It sounds far too lumpy if we count it that way. So we can see we've got 4 main groups. We're in 4 beats in a bar, so we're in quadruple time. So you just have to extend your thinking from, first of all, thinking 12 quaver beats to then looking at how they're grouped to answer this question. So let's press on. So now we'll have a look at this next question. We're asked to describe fully each of the numbered and bracketed melodic intervals in this melody here. It says melodic intervals because they're coming one after each other as part of a melody, and we need to fully describe those. So we need to give the number of steps, the degrees of the scale, the interval between those steps, and then we need to say a little bit more about whether it's major, minor, perfect and so on. So let's have a look at this first one. Number 1 here, we're going from a G to a C sharp. However, you can see that it already exceeds an octave, so I'm just going to jump the octave and then call it a compound interval. So we can see G to C sharp is a 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's a compound fourth. However, it's not a perfect fourth because of the C sharp. G to C would be perfect, but we've raised that, we've augmented that interval. If you can just visualise that, G to C sharp, we've extended or augmented that interval. So we can fully describe that as a compound augmented fourth, Alternatively, you could just count the steps and call it an augmented 11th, but you'd have to know that an 11th is perfect, and then we augment that afterwards. So I find it easier to just stick to the first octave and then just call it a compound, because I know that fourths and fifths and octaves are perfect. So we could call that an augmented 11th. There we go. So let's look at number 2. So here we have a C to an A. So we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We know that it's a sixth. We always count our lower note as if that was the tonic. We just take the key signature into account for if it affects any of those notes, but we're thinking always in terms of the lowest note as the tonic. Now it's quite tricky to think in C sharp major, C sharp minor. So if we just first of all look at the interval without the sharp, so C to A, so A would be part of C major, that would be a major interval. However, by raising that lower note, we've made that interval smaller, so we've gone from major to minor, and then that will also conclude that A is part of C sharp minor scale, but it's that smaller interval. So you can see from a major 6 we've gone smaller by raising that lower note, and so it's a minor sixth. There we go, and then let's look at this last one here. So we're going from G to F sharp, that's a 1, 3, 5, 7th. If we're thinking in the key of G, G major would have F sharps. That's part of the G major scale, and so that's a major 7th. There we go. So now we've got a bit of general information here. We're told that the extract is in the key of G minor. So we can see we've got a 2 flat key signature, and then we've got some F sharps and things telling us that we're in the minor key. But they've told that for us, they've done that thinking for us, and we're just asked to name another key which has that same key signature. So we're looking at the related key, and we know that G minor is related to B flat major, which shares the same key signature. So B flat, or you could use the symbol B flat major. That will do. Just as a little tip, I would always have the circle of fifths sketched out before I even start a paper. So you've already done your thinking and you just refer. So you know that G minor is related to B flat major, which has that key signature. If you do that right at the beginning, you've done your thinking all in one go, and you can just relax and keep referring back to that. If you're not sure how to do that, I've done a video on the circle of fifths to explain how to work that out quickly, and you'll find the link to that in the description box and also in the cards. So we've answered that question. Let's move on. So again, a bit of general orchestral information here. Is it true? So, not is it true, sorry, we need to give the definition. A violinist may be asked to play Sol G. So what does this mean? It just means on the G string, or play on the G string. Now, these questions, the performance directions will be in multiple choice from now on, from 2018 onwards, but you may well have to just give a little bit of information on orchestral aspects as well. So it's as well to just go ahead and answer this. It's good revision to do so. So here we go, last question in this section. So we need to rewrite the first note of the extract so it sounds at the same pitch. There's the big clue, don't jump any octaves, but we need to use the alto clef. So we need to put in the clef and the key signature. So the clef first of all, so a bit of a double bar line. There's our focus point, that's where middle C is, and our clef base is around that. There we go. And so the key signature is B flats and E flats, so C, B flats, C, D, E flats. There we go. And so the first note, if we just have a look here, yep, C, B, A, G, we're on the G below middle C, so be careful you get the correct octave. Use middle C as your anchor point there. So the G below middle C, so there's middle C, C, B, A, G, takes us there, and we need to write that as a semiquaver or a 16th note. And that's that question completed. So if we just turn over the page, if we just have a quick glance at question 2, you'll see that this is voices for chorus, rewriting it in short score. Now this question is no longer part of the 2018 onwards revised syllabus. We're not required to do this choral scoring, and so we're just going to skip that video entirely and move on to the next question. So we'll look at the next question in the next video. I do hope that's been helpful to you. I hope it's of benefit to your studies. I also hope that you're enjoying working through these papers. I certainly am. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more to come. Please do visit sharonbale.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!